Okay, this is the first of these efforts to finish our Revelation study. We are in chapter 14, and so if you'll turn there, feel free to pause at any time. I know I look just so deviling, but overlook that. Okay, so in this chapter we're still in our second phase going through the tribulation. So you may want to take the poster down off the wall temporarily, and we'll probably add this week a picture of the three angels that's talked about in this chapter. So you might want to do that. So let's begin. In verse 1, it says, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, 140 and 4,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads." So here we know that it's Jesus standing victoriously with the 144,000 that are Jews that are saved in the tribulation. And they're sealed. They are evangelistic. They have led other people to the Lord in the tribulation, and they are standing victorious with Jesus, and they have a seal in their foreheads. And of course, the previous chapter, chapter 13, ends with the seal of the Antichrist in the foreheads. Of course, Satan always makes a counterfeit to anything that Jesus has. And of course, that's I think it's kind of interesting that one chapter ends with that, and then this chapter starts with how the saints are sealed with Jesus, and they're in their foreheads. We don't know. There's a lot of speculation whether this Mount Zion is in heaven or on earth. There is one in both. But we don't know for sure which one it is. In Hebrews 12:18 and in verse 22, it mentions the Mount Zion. So if you want to turn there and reference. In fact, I'm going to write in my Bible, which we have done in this class, Hebrews in the wide margin, Hebrews 12:18 and 22. Okay, and so there's one in both, but like I said, we just don't know which it is. Interesting. So verse 2, "And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps." Beautiful music. I have to ask myself, why music? Because, that's what we do. Why music? Well, I believe in this reference, and in verse 3 also, "And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts, and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 140 and 4,000, which were redeemed from the earth." So just those Jews that had been saved, the 144,000, will sing this song. I know sometimes we like to sing a song when the redeemed are gathering home. We are the redeemed, and we will sing a song, but these guys have their own song as well. And it's unique to the 144,000. Sometimes I think there are some songs that are unique to my heart, especially "I Must Tell Jesus." I just love that song. And it's a unique song, and I love it, like "How Great Thou Art." Those songs are unique, and they are just special. This song will be special. And it also kind of gives me the impression that music is so important. Why music? I was going to continue to answer that question. Music is just extremely important. It ushers in, just like Sunday school ushers in the sermon and the service. So it's a very important part of our worship. to God. Okay, verse 4. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. Now, when I first read this, I mean, these are they which are not defiled with women. Women always get such a bad rap. But I want you to stop and think about something here. It's not bad to have a relation with a woman or a man. But here it's talking about, there's a difference in an illicit and relationship between a man and a woman. Not just a gender in general, but it is speaking of something that is not pure like God intended, because God ordained a relationship between a man and a woman. So here I think it's speaking of something that is illicit, but that it could have been people that haven't been tarnished with sin in their lives, such as illicit relationships. Okay, and let's go on. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. And that would kind of be, I can't say that I'm without fault or that I'm without any sin. But these people are special. And to have lived through the tribulation and have been this pure, that would be even a bigger deal. I've often said in our class, it's so hard to live now. Can you imagine trying to live a Christian life in the tribulation? That would be hard. But these people have done so, and you have to look up to them a little bit. And verse 6, and I saw another angel. Okay, so I thought we would, first of all, let's go and highlight with your highlighter the first angel. Where is that? And in their mouth found no guile. And I saw it. Well, in verse 6, there's one. You can underline that. And I looked, and there was a lamb. Father's name in the forest. Heard man name. Harp sharp, they sing. So. Well, we'll come back to that. We can. I'll send a text to Michelle so we don't lose our time. But highlight this angel, because these three angels are very important. So in verse 6, and I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the foundations. I mean, it's a good thing to fear God. I'm not talking about an enslaving fear that just, like I am with spiders, or, and a respectful fear, like a fear that I would have for a copperhead. I respect that guy way over there. But I'm talking about a respectful fear, one that is healthy. You need to fear God and his judgment. And I think here, they're saying fear God is a privilege. And it's claiming to unbelievers in the tribulation, you need to get ready. Judgment is coming. It's like the one last appeal for judgment. So you can be saved in the tribulation. I can't imagine it. In verse 8, and there followed another angel, so let's highlight that, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So Babylon is a symbol of Satan. Anytime in the Bible that you're referencing Babylon, on earth, evil, and all the major evil, perverseness, Baal worships, different other kind of worships that were against God, they sprung out of Babylon. It is a wicked place. In fact, now Babylon today is going to be one of the most progressive technology cities in the world. They're building it now to where it's going to be an amazing place. And I think it's getting ready for the tribulation, getting that place ready for the tribulation. But its name is synonymous with deceit and so much more evil. Okay, so in verse 9, we're right on track. I'm sorry. The third angel, verse 9. Highlight that. Here is a solemn warning, not a tattoo. We're going to talk about that, but how God can reject someone. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Let's go on and read verse 11. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. And like I said, this mark is not a tattoo. You know, I can remember when I was growing up, tattoos were only rough, bad people got tattoos. Now it seems to be a popular thing. And I want to say it's something we shouldn't do. I haven't researched that a lot, but why would you need to put something on your body that is permanent? But this is not speaking of a tattoo. I digress. I chased a little rabbit there. I'm sorry. But here was the third angel. Okay. This is the mark of the beast, the 666, in the head or in the right hand. Okay, verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that kept the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. Again, tribulation saints, who have patiently, endured. God's wrath is not for them. It's for those that won't accept his son. I mean, his son died, so he's got a wrath waiting for people that won't accept his son. And here, I like this verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead, which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So there is comfort there in that verse for the tribulation saints. They're going to find a comfort. Even when we walk in something that is unpleasant or harsh or hard on us, there's a peace that passeth understanding, because God is there and the Holy Spirit sends us comfort. Goodness knows they're going to need comfort. Verse 14, And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and is in his hand a sharp sickle. Okay, and let's finish this up. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came. Oh, there's a fourth one. We're going to need 4. We're going to need 4 angels. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, and also having a sharp sickle. And another angel. There's 5. Where did I get 3? Came up from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs. This is one of those pictures I have in Revelation. It's just so frightful, so much blood that it comes up to the horse's bridle. Sickles are for harvest, okay? So we get that, the old-time way to harvest wheat. You'd have a sickle, and you'd be out there cutting the wheat down and threshing that wheat that you could use to make bread with from the stalks and the hulls. So they're harvesting the people that have given their lives to God and believed in his son Jesus. Ripe can be both a negative and a positive thing. But here it's for the, I think, a positive for those that have accepted Jesus, but negative for those that haven't. Two harvests are going on here. Those that are left, okay, and those that aren't turning to God. There's another angel. They bring and they put the wine in the winepress, and they squish out the grapes and blood flows. And you think about a wine press in Italy years ago, they would put all the, and it would be a huge festival when the grapes were done. They would get all the grapes in this huge round vat thing, but it was usually made of blocks and rocks. And it would have been very old. It would have been in the wine country's family, whoever had the vineyard, for a very long time. And then the women of the town, it was their job to get in the wine in the middle of that big old tub. It's huge, and squish out the grapes and the juice, and it would flow out of a little faucet area out of that tub. And they would collect that, and it would have been a big deal. So when you think about that, of course, that was the day, in those days, for centuries, this practice had been done. So in that day, that was the only way they had to describe how God's going to squeeze the bad from the good. The blood's going to flow. And I thought it was kind of interesting that he compared blood to the grapes. You know, grapes are so essential. Wine in that day was so essential for livelihood. And of course, blood is as well. So there's a lot of deepness in this chapter, a lot of not just, like you say, being ripe can be good and bad. There's a lot of good here. There's comfort, but yet there is judgment coming. It is going to come to an end, and I think we're facing that. We're facing the time when the tribulation is going to begin. Scary, but a blessing, both negative and positive. Scary because, I probably haven't done what I could for God, getting people to Jesus. We just need to always challenge ourselves to do more for Jesus and his efforts. One thing we can do is we can give. We can give to the church. And we can give to missions, because when we give to missions, we're a part of that salvation for those that are lost. So that concludes our first YouTube video. I hope you all have a good Sunday. I miss you, and I love you.